What's up, everyone? How you guys and gals doing, man? Welcome to the live show. How you guys doing in the comment section over on YouTube? What's up, Frank? All that good stuff. We're going to be talking about this. I guess the Pagans have the cops on the run or something like that because they all freaked out in this freaking news article we're going to cover. Also, later on, we're going to be talking about this. Don't talk to the cops, man. What is wrong with you people? Don't you know how to shut up, stupid? Shut up is what I say when the cops come talking to you. And I'm actually going to be talking about the methods they actually use to try to get you to confess. And if you just remember these steps, you'll know what they're doing to you in interrogation and all that kind of stuff. But I'm also on TikTok right now live. Black Dragon suggested, hey, go on TikTok and stuff. I was like, Black Dragon, man, they're always taking my account down and all that. So I don't know about that, but I'll try it, see how it works out. But we're going to get going on this deal right now, baby. Right now.
Yeah! Break the throttle, feel the raw, bikes and freedom, we're hardcore. Insane throttle, we're the spark, ripping through the night, light up the dark. Rev it up, let the engine scream, live on YouTube, living the dream. Biker news, we're breaking the mold. Insane throttle, hearts falling cold. Rev it up, feel the roar, hit the road, let's explore.
Yeah, baby, it's time to explore right now. Let's go to this new stuff that we were talking about, how the Pagans got, it has to be a small town or something because it made headlines and all that kind of stuff, and I couldn't believe that. Everybody on TikTok, welcome to the live portion of the show. All my people down in the comment section. We got Central Fitness, Tiffany, Kay, Eric, Hardwire. Everybody's starting to come in right now. Let's get to this sucker. This out of Steamboat Pilot Today. Authorities say up to 700 bikers may hold rally in Oak Creek next month. You can just hear them crapping their pants right now if this actually becomes the case. And the one thing, it's like, okay, how do you know that they're coming? Or did club, because I know a lot of clubs reach out and let the local authorities know, hey, we're doing this and doing that. And you know what? They give them a courtesy. Next thing you know, they turn around and shove it up their keister, if you know what I mean. So again, over on TikTok, we're trying it out because Black Dragon recommended doing that. I can see all you guys there as well over on YouTube. Going through this, the Routt County Sheriff's Office has notified local official of the possibility of a 100 to 700 person rally. That's kind of a big freaking broad spectrum there, don't you think? Undersheriff Joshua Carrell summarized law enforcement's evolving understanding. Do you notice the words that are always used now in society as a whole? Evolving, or I gotta process this. It's like, what are you, a computer or something? Really? Come on, give me a break, man. I guess the understanding of the event in an interview with Steamboat, what is it? Steamboat Pilot Today. What kind of name is that for a newspaper anyway? It's like really weird stuff, man. You know what? One thing I noticed around the country is the different sections. There are a lot of weirdos, man. I guess they said Colorado Information and Analyst Center. I guess they're using analysis right now. Notified the sheriff's office that there could potentially be a Pagans Motorcycle Club rally in Oak Creek from August 14th or 15th. Let's see here, to August 17th. So basically, they don't have any proof of what's going on with that type of stuff. So it happens, whatever. The Colorado Information Analyst Center mission. Okay, here's their mission right now, is to serve as the focal point within the state for receiving, analyzing, and sharing threat-related information among the private sector. It's a spy agency, basically. What do you got, the CIA and all that kind of stuff, NSA, spying on people? Give me a break, man. That's some scary crap right there. I guess, according to Carrell, a property purchased in Oak Creek either personally by a club member or a family member came with information that 100 to 700 people plan to attend. What kind of crap is that, man? So they're freaking out because a potential member or one of their family member bought the property. But you don't see them out there freaking out when you got the Chinese government going around buying farmland and stuff. No, they go after clubs because they want to make this big deal. And if you understand the reason why cops do it, it's so they can pad their budgets. That's exactly what they do, is pad their budget. Unbelievable. Anyway, despite the uncertainty around the purchase of the property, again, is there uncertainty when you got other countries buying land near our military bases and stuff like that? No, you don't have that. But when it comes to 1% clubs, you're going to have that kind of crap. Carrell said the sheriff's department is preparing for the event. You know what? It'd be funny is if the Pagans really are doing this, if they move it to somewhere else and they make the cops spend all this money and nobody show up. That would be a kick in the nuts to law enforcement. I will laugh if that happens. Make them spend millions of dollars, and next thing you know, oops, you were wrong, we changed the spot. And you wasted all those taxpayer money, and see how the taxpayers are going to like you then, or see how the business owners are going to like you then. Just saying. The sheriff's department does not currently foresee any issues with the event, who added that the department would release a statement within the coming week. Then it goes into when the Pagans were founded and all that good stuff, and an attempt to contact a local resident affiliated was unsuccessful. That's right. Don't talk to them. Just don't talk to them. You know, one thing I've learned since doing this, because I've done hundreds of interviews. Also, I've been featured on, the big screen or, whatever. They lie and they edit and edit and edit. That's what these people do. I remember being contacted, basically begged, to do that one TV show. I forget about it because it really doesn't mean anything to me. And I was like, yeah, no, that ain't happening, man. After National Geographic and what they did to me, no, it ain't happening, man. Spike TV or whatever the hell it's called. Anyway, and I guess somebody said they would classify it as hearsay about the event. Basically, they don't know what the hell that they're talking about. Well, when it comes to this kind of stuff, I gotta move that intro down, man. I'm already screwing it up. But yeah, they don't know what's going on. But I would. It would be amazing if the Pagans would do what the cops do. Let's say that. Put out all kinds of misinformation. That way you get them to spend all kinds of money. And you give them a black eye. That's what you do. You give them a black eye. And use the news media against that themselves and the cops. And I just would love that. That would be freaking funny as hell. It's about time the media gets it back, if you know what I mean. Because all they do is lie, lie, lie. I don't know. But that's just my advice to some 1% clubs out there is start fighting back, start using everything they use against you, against them. And I think they would change, if you will. So, anyway, that brings me to a big subject. And by the way, don't forget to go over to the Insanity Podcast over on YouTube, where me and China Doll had to do something today. We weren't able to do the podcast. We'll be back tomorrow. Check that out. It is on YouTube. And for Christ's sakes, go buy the book, man. Power and Betrayal over on Amazon. One thing I think that the new school, if you will, hell, what am I talking about? Even the old school. They don't know how to shut their mouths. And it causes a lot of problems. And you could take it anywhere from these internet keyboard warriors to those on the street. They run their mouth. But it gets even more serious when somebody gets hauled in by the cops. What you're dealing with when it comes to the cops is somebody who is trained to bust your ass. They're trained to throw your ass in prison. They are not your friends. They don't care about your mother's health. They don't care about your daughter's friggin' getting married to some scumbag. They care about throwing you in jail. And it is a sad thing where when I cover the biker news, you see a lot of people talking. When there's a simple phrase that you could say. Give them your name. I want a lawyer. Do not say anything whatsoever other than your name and you want a lawyer. At that point, they got to stop talking to you. But what I see is, when I do these news stories, you see people that are out for themselves. Self-survival, if you will. That's why you never do dirt with anybody in a club. For one, you don't make any money when you're in a club. So you don't got that finance to keep them in line. They're not getting paid, so why should they risk the rest of their life with you? What's up, man? Detroit. Well, I'm talking over on TikTok right now. They got the going. This thing on TikTok is pretty cool, man. If you got on TikTok, you to join the rest of us over on YouTube or whatever. I'll keep on going with you guys on TikTok. But yeah, we got Detroit in the house, man. But going back to this, you see a lot of it in the news. And it's in every major club out there where this happens. There's been some big nationals being taken down because supposed national sergeant at arms that happened in the Pike and Portillo deal down in Texas with the Banditos. Hell, Conan just got out of prison because one of his turned him in. So it's not the breed is, it's different now than say it was 30 years ago, 40 years ago, when it actually meant something to be in a club. But going back to what they do to you. And you really got to remember again, they are not there to help you. Nothing whatsoever. They're not there to help you at all. It's something called the Reid Technique that they're using against you. And it's been used since 1959. That's what I believe it was, 1959, when the Reid Technique came out. It came out from a detective. I don't know what city or any of that kind of stuff. So let's take a look at it, shall we? And I'll go through it with you. The Reid Technique, it's the most common technique for obtaining confessions. Again, if you're ever pulled in to an interrogation, your name, you want a lawyer. And the first thing they're going to do is come at you. Well, if you don't cooperate, we're going to go harder on you. Your name, I want a lawyer. You don't want to get away from that phrase at all. He was a psychologist and a former cop, John Reid. He developed a system for interrogation, 1955. The Reid Technique involves isolating the suspect away from lawyers. Now listen to this. Away from lawyers, families, and friends in a small interrogation room where the officers use the following 9 steps to obtain a confession. So, what happens, say, when you're putting, that's, you know what, with these maximum security prisons, people go crazy in them things because they're in a cell 23 hours a day, 7 days a week. They have no contact with anybody, and it drives them mentally insane. Okay? They go cuckoo like Cocoa Puffs, if you will. But that's one of the big things that they're going to use against you in an interrogation. They're going to slap you in a small room. They'll probably have either the heat turned up, where, because with cold is one thing, but with heat, it makes you sweat. It makes you feel disgusting. So they'll lower, they'll heighten up the temperature in the room on you. And that's when the psychology starts on you. That's when they start going at you, is to make you feel uncomfortable. Or you've heard times where people were held to the maximum time period without sleep, without eating. And that's because they don't use the 2 simple phrases, your name and I want a lawyer. So this technique is all psychological on you. All psychological. And this is why you see a lot of people fail and they give up people or they give up themselves. When you hear the saying, no one talks, everybody walks, that's what happens when nobody talks. You never admit anything. Nothing. You got to remember that the cops are cops. Well, we're going to go on you. We're going to go after you. You're not going to get any leniency. Well, you're not even in the DA court phase yet. They can't negotiate anything for you. The DA has to. Step 1. Here's step 1 of what they're trying to do to you. And again, this is at Don't Talk to Cops off the inquest.org. Step 1, they're going to tell you there is overwhelming evidence of your guilt. And this may involve the interrogator lying about evidence and implicating the suspect. Oh, I got a DNA on you. I got your hair. We got you. We have your DNA. There's no disputing DNA. And here the suspect or whoever it is going to be sitting there. Oh, man, they got my hair. And they don't. The best example of that is, you ever see the Four Brothers with Mark Wahlberg and stuff? They have them in the interrogating room, and they pulled the hair in the bag, and he just sits there and laughs. That's their first step, is to say they have all this evidence. Well, we got you on camera. Your name, I want a lawyer. Don't say nothing. Don't reply to what they're throwing at you. You got that, TikTok? Step 2. This is step 2 of what they're doing. Shift blame away from the suspect to some other person, because when they do that, some of these people are sitting there, oh, okay, man, they might have somebody else. I'm in the clear. So you start loosening up towards them. And now you're thinking, okay, they're on my side. The cops are never on your side. You got to remember this. Or they'll go into the circumstances. And by the way, if you kept on reaffirming that you want a lawyer, they wouldn't even get to this step. They can't by law. But in case, or if you're like with the Chicago Police Department, they're crooks, okay? They're the ones that take your envelopes each week. But when they get you in a situation like this and you say you want a lawyer, they're going to keep on going. They'll go into a set of circumstances that prompted the suspect to commit a crime. And they're going to go and say, well, I understand why you would kill him. He was disrespecting you. I would have done the same thing if I were you in your position. That's exactly what they'll say to you. So now what they're trying to do is build a relationship with you. That's what they're doing, is building that relationship so you drop your guard. That they think that they're building trust with you. And you're right, Brittany, over on TikTok. Cops are not your friends whatsoever. None ya. They are never your friend. Their next step is this. They don't want to allow you to deny guilt. Well, I didn't do that. And they're going to say, well, there's no point in you saying you didn't do it. Well, again, if you would listen to Hollywood and said, hey, your name and get me a lawyer, you wouldn't be to this point. You can actually see club members on video on YouTube talking to these freaking cops. When an interview with one of these or an interrogation, from your point, shouldn't be more than 2 minutes. 2 minutes, that's all it should be. Because they're going to have you repeating the steps I told you for 2 minutes straight until they get it into their thick cop heads that this ain't the way it works for me anyway. You might get it on some schmuck to get talking, but not me. But they wouldn't get to this point. So what they're doing is they'll probably have one cop who is trying to establish that relationship for you. And the next one is going to be the good cop, bad cop crap. And he's going to hit you from one end to another. But they're going to keep on trying to make you feel guilty, so you say what the hell you're doing. Now, the next step they're going to do, and you know what? This is right on with the Reid method. When the suspect gives reason why he or she did not or could not commit the crime, they start to build that into a guilty narrative. Like when somebody would say, I wouldn't kill her. I loved her. They're going to answer like this statement says, sure you loved her. That's why she was interested in other men. They're going to try to piss you off. That's exactly what they're going to do, is try to piss you off. Because what happens when we get mad? We lose our cool. We lose any resemblance of caution. Again, this whole technique is psychological, and you got to remember that. You got to be strong-minded when dealing with these cops, because they're trained in this. They do it every damn day. They got their act together. They got their routine together. And then they're facing you off. Have it together, man. Then it goes on. This is step 5 of the Reid deal. Keep the focus on the suspect, on the investigator's guilt narrative. Look them in the eye, because you know what happens when you look at people in the eye and they're guilty? You can tell. You got to have that 1,000-mile stone-cold stare if you let it get to this point. And if you let it get to this point, all you're doing is letting them build evidence against you because you were stupid and let it get to this point. And what they're trying to do is to keep who's ever in that chair from thinking about the kind of punishment that they're going to go through. Again, good cop, bad cop crap. So you might have the one guy over here, yeah, this is going to happen. Yeah, we got the DA on the way. We're going to charge you with all kinds of crimes if you don't give us what we want. You got the other guy, come on, man, I want to work with you. I want you to get you out of this. I understand how you feel, why it might have happened, but you got to give me something to help you out. We're going to take an intermission real quick, and we're going to be right back. Don't forget the Insanity Podcast, man, over on YouTube. Also, Insanity Music to get your freaking music going on. We'll be right back right after this intermission. You can get this song as well as others over on Insanity Music right on YouTube or Apple Music. Get on over there and get your songs for your playlist. We'll be back.
Pouring shots in the neon under smoke and lies, serving dreams to the drifters with nowhere left to fly. My Harley waits outside, she's my ticket to Rome. When the bar shuts down, the road's my home. The night's my kingdom, the bottle's my crown. I'm a king of the lost where the sun goes down. Chrome and whiskey running through my veins. Harley screaming freedom, breaking all my chains. Pour another round, let the night unfold. Living for the ride on this road of gold.
Okay, what's up? Welcome back to the show. I was over there kicking it with the TikTok people. Like you, Hollywood, but you're coming off like a TikTok lawyer, man. You wear too many hats. Oh, my goodness gracious, man. I'm just trying to help people here because, with biker news, this is the biggest thing that we cover is when there's a major bust. And you got to remember, the last couple months, there's been 3 major busts of big 1%er clubs, both in the white set and in the black set. Now, let's just say, let me ask a simple question here. If you were one of the, say, 28 that were busted for that RICO crap down in Daytona, would you feel confident or safe that nobody's going to rat you out? Would you be confident or even better, would you be confident in them not giving you up through stupidity? By answering the questions that these cops have. That you are, minion. Anyway. Let's go to stick right, or number 6 right here on this deal. And again, it's on inquest.org. Don't talk to the cops. Look for nonverbal signs. This is a big one. Huge one. Like when somebody sits back in a chair, that's telling you something. You're close to getting them. And I'm sorry, you can use these type of signals when you're dealing with somebody on the street. This is dead giveaways when you watch people. But you got to be a watcher. Crying or head nodding. As soon as they get you crying, you're busted. You're done. Because they took you from anger to crying. They got you. Getting closer to moving the suspect towards a confession is what you're doing when you're watching them. If you ever get interrogated and you let it get to that point, sit forward, sit towards them. That projects strength. When they see you backing up, that projects weakness and thus you're guilty. And they'll keep digging at you. Then it goes on to say, pose the alternative question. Meaning, don't ask, did you kill your wife? Ask, did you decide to kill your wife a long time ago? Or was the decision, spontaneous? So basically what they're doing is getting in your head, weaving a narrative around, and got you believing in it. So you can see all the different emotions that they're throwing at you and able to get to where they want you to get. Step 8. And it really is, it only takes 7 steps to get you to this one. Once you have an admission of guilt, get the suspect to give you the details. So basically, yeah, I did it. Okay, here's a piece of paper. You notice they don't do it electronically. Write everything down of how everything happened. You just wrote a statement. You're screwed. I don't care if you tell the court, yeah, I was in, interrogation for 12, 14, 24 hours, sleep deprived. It's hard to get a written confession thrown out. And it says do it in front of other witnesses. You're going to always have 2 cops usually, either one in the room, one watching from outside the room on the cameras, or they're going to both be in there. And they want you to know that, hey, we have multiple people witnessing this right now. And then they're going to have you sign your life away. I like this quote right here. Investigators elicit the decision to confess from the innocent in one of two ways. This is a good one. Either by leading them to believe their situation through unjust is hopeless and will only be improved by confessing, or persuading them that they probably committed a crime about which they have no memory. In Miranda, Escobar versus Illinois 2 years earlier, the court attempted to address the precarious situation. Did you ever notice that the cops can lie to you, but you can't lie to them? Ain't that hypocritical crap, if you ask me? What the hell is that? Really? Appreciate all the likes over there on TikTok, man. That really rules and helps out. Hey, I guess this TikTok thing is really pretty cool. So I just had I had to bring that up because we've been seeing a lot in the news about people talking. And it's like, it's simple, man. They're going to sit there. They're going to try to scare you. They're going to try to weave a scenario where you're guilty. Then you're going to get this stuff. New news just popped up, so I'm going to give you a new news here. Daytona Beach News Journal, yeah, wipe your you-know-what with them. Mongols attack warlocks during bike week, but tensions were already risen among clubs. This happened when? Months ago? This is how the news media is going to play it. They're going to keep it in the news. That's why you got to fight back. Use the news against themselves. Hell, use creators to go after them. We got more listeners and subscribers than they do. We got a bigger voice than they do. Warlocks Motorcycle Club Thomas McDaniel traveled from Virginia for Bike Week in March. This happened in March, and was gathering with other warlocks when they noticed Mongols at the other end. McDaniel said he was not alarmed, though he was unaware of any issues between the warlocks and the Mongols. He said he didn't expect an attack. This according to an affidavit. What happened to not signing anything? That's just like I put over on all my platforms where the Hells Angels member, I think it was North Carolina, he's out there talking to the cops and pointing at the guy. Yeah, the guy pulled the gun on us. What happened to just shut up? You're giving information out and you're not supposed to, and you're looking at this. This was put on an affidavit. The warlocks, who, like the Mongols, are classified as an outlaw motorcycle gang, according to the affidavit, had gathered at the racetrack. So basically what they're given is witness testimony to the whole thing. Clubs don't do that. Clubs don't give testimony against another club. The warlocks, it gave them everything from the News Journal. Everything, of course, that they seen on video too, because, they had the video. But it goes through this whole thing right here. about, and this is what Daytona News Journal does, man, the Daytona Beach. But speaking about the attack, McDaniel later told investigators the Mongols and Warlocks did not have that relationship in Virginia. So now you're basically giving internal deals to the cops. Yeah, you're talking to the damn cops. That's why I don't understand most of the time why people wear their colors on the internet. You're being validated at that point. They know who you are. But this guy gave an affidavit, man, against the Mongols. What kind of crap is that? You don't do that. That's why a lot of stuff has really changed, man. And if I've been missing, some super chats or something in the chat room, it's not like the Mike Ball. Go over there and check out his channel, Insane Wheels. It's not like the 90s anymore. People were willing to not talk when you were facing 2 years. Now people are facing 20. People get to talking quick. You know what? Mike's, he's head up straight up on that. They will talk quick on your ass. That's why it's just better not to do any dirt, because there's too much to risk. Come on, let's be honest. The median age that are in clubs now are in their 40s and 50s. They're looking at a sentence of 20 to 30 years. Yeah, right. They ain't doing it. Especially if they just came up in the crap. They ain't going to do it. I don't know. 100% Mike's 777 slots. But I don't know. I never expected somebody to give affidavits in that case. So I'm probably going to have to cover that too. But the don't talk to cops, I'm going to see if I can actually do that right now. Put it in the chat room. You can check that out. That's where the article's at. If you're on TikTok, man, thanks, man, for everybody watching. You got the behind scenes of how the show gets working. Go over to YouTube. Check us out over there. Appreciate it. But this is, man, BD, I guess, was right about going to this live on TikTok stuff. I was going to do Instagram, but they want to, you to jump through all kinds of hoops. But join us tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time on the Insanity Podcast, baby, over on YouTube. You'd also listen to the show right afterwards over on Spotify and all that good stuff. We'll catch you later. Rock on, baby. Rev up, riders. Welcome to the Insanity Podcast by Insane Throttle, the no-holds-barred show for bikers by bikers. We're your hosts, Hollywood and Chinatown, hitting the road with real talk on motorcycles, relationships, politics, and more. From chrome to chaos, we cover the wild stuff that fuels our ride. So grab your helmet, crank it up, and join the Insanity Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. Tune in on YouTube. The podcast is also available on Spotify, Apple iTunes, and more.
Home, where the wind runs free, my bike's waiting there, calling to me. Harley Davidson till the bitter end, the highway hums beneath my boots. A fleeting dream or a mark.
Welcome to 1990 Chicago, where trust is a trap and betrayal runs deep. The Betrayal Chronicles real-life book series by James Hollywood Machikari drags you into the middle of the biker underworld like never before. In Power and Betrayal, a kingpin rises and falls in a storm of drugs and deceit. Then brotherhood and betrayal throws you into a fight for loyalty where every choice bleeds. Get the Betrayal Chronicles series now with grit, guilt, and redemption on every page. Available on Amazon and everywhere books are sold. Also available is autographed copies by James Hollywood Machikari on www.insanethrottlebikernews.com.